Welcome to episode 3 of Fate Awakens. Last time, a few of our players had some private conversations happen, and they escaped the town, and 4, along with the rest of the family and friends, decided to sleep a good ways away from town, away from harm's way, as 2 of them started up towards the monastery throughout the night. You two, I should say, make your way to the monastery. You probably get there right as the sun is starting to rise. As you 4 awake in the morning, look back towards town, the tear in the sky seems to be just as it was when it initially showed up. The large creature no longer seems to be walking around. And from this distance, besides the tear in the sky, it looks normal.
I'll start waking the kids up.
Okay.
And we should get moving.
Okay.
Get a roll call, make sure everyone's still there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's still there except Razim. All the other kids are still there.
So we get them up, get some breakfast in them, clean up our things really quick, and then I think we should just
Start moving.
Yeah.
start moving.
Okay.
How do we want to organize this? Kids in the middle.
Kids in the middle.
You'll lead,
Sure.
because you know where we're going.
Yep. Well, I think you should lead with me because
Okay.
you kind of helped save our bacon a little bit last night,
Sure. I can lead.
directionally.
I can lead.
And then if you guys wouldn't mind with Tybalt rearing up the back.
Certainly.
Let's do it. Let's break that way.
Okay. Do y'all take most of everything with you, pack up the camp?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if some kids gotta lug some stuff, they'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot to load.
Builds character.
But all right,
Good
so you all start just making your way up
Another chest.
to the monastery. When you 2 arrive at the monastery in the morning, everyone seems to be acting normal, as you know. Both of you know, actually. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary at all. Osis actually comes down and greets you. Edmund, good to see you again.
You as well, friend. But I'm afraid there's something happening that I need to see you in about.
Very well. He's in his room. He just turns around and starts leaving. You know him to not be the friendliest monk, even though he is the one and most power here. He has never been a direct best friend kind of guy.
He's stinky.
Yeah. I'll go to where I assume I know Ewan's quarters are.
Edmund, you mind if I take a seat right here and wait for you outside before we head back? I'm kind of feeling a little out of it, probably from lack of sleep.
Yes, you may rest for a moment, but we should meet with the others soon. We'll get rest as soon as we feel we can.
As soon as he says, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and, lay where I was standing. So you'll know where to find me.
So I'll head to Ewan's quarters there
Okay.
by myself, yeah.
All right. As you get there, he is sitting there on a small rug, crisscross applesauce, and he is pouring himself a hot tea. And it's like, Edmund, nice to have you in this morning. Would you like a tea?
Well, if you've got something with a bit of energy in it, that would be great. I need you to gather some of your monks and come with me to grab what's left of our town. I'm afraid the pillar has broken.
There is no way. The pillar is still standing.
Well, I know not the details, but it's at least cracked. There's been evil darkness of some sort of magical form that's taken most of the town.
Let's go check the pillars before we get too much into this. I would like to see if anything drastic has happened.
Very well, but could, on our way to the pillar, you alert a few of your monks to get some sort of party ready.
Yes, I'll get a few of the trusted ones.
Thank you. Let us see the pillar then.
All right. As he goes by, he stops one of the younger monks, whispers something in his ear, and he runs off. He will handle it. It's okay. He takes you to the pillars, and you definitely notice they look aged. They look cracked, which is not normal.
And is it just the one? Or
All of them.
It's 12,
All
right?
of them, yes.
Okay.
Double check that.
I guess, yeah. I thought the 12
Yep.
were different places. Okay.
All of them definitely are cracking. They don't seem to be doing anything normal. Like, there are physical cracks that were not there
Do they seem
few
to be,
years ago.
I mean, to my knowledge, made of just regular marble or some sort of gemstone?
They look to be a standard granite stone,
Granite stone.
but they seem to never age. But all of a sudden, in the past year or so, you've noticed that it's aged. Looks like 1,000 years in this time.
And what are they pillars of? Like, what are they holding up?
They're symbols. There's symbols
They're
on
like,
each one.
They're like monoliths, right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
They're pretty much
Gotcha.
like small spires.
Yeah, small spiders. Okay, that's what I was imagining. This one.
And they're just arranged around the courtyard, very center. And the whole monastery itself seems to be around this. This is the center.
Okay. Well,
This house.
Ewan, you live here every day. Maybe you can't see the slow crumbling of them. But
There's nothing slow about this.
Since the last time I was here, they look in far worse condition.
This has happened in the past 2 weeks.
I assume that's what the letter was about.
Yes. I would like to, if you don't mind, take a look at those 3 over there. I'll check these out. See if you see anything dramatic with them. More than just the aging.
Okay. I'll, I guess, start at one of the first ones he pointed out. Now, I'll be looking for not only cracks that you would normally see in stone or weathering from, rain or wind or whatever. I'll see if I can find any sort of growth, maybe, or like any sort of like fungal growth or some
Okay.
kind of plant growth, maybe, or anything that emits kind of heat, cold, energy. That's kind of what I'll be aiming for.
Okay. Roll investigation. And your
Oh, I am proficient in that, so does that count?
yes, yeah. Any of your proficiencies count.
So 8.
8. Okay. You search a couple of them. You put your hand all around them. They start to like, as you're like touching them and kind of going up, you see a couple of them just kind of chip off and flake. Like, it's aging extremely quick. Like, what the heck is going on? All of a sudden, Ewan just says, "Edmund, come here."
I'll walk over.
You go over. You see one of them has a tear that looks identical to the one of this guy. And you look at it, and it looks like something in there is also moving.
And I'm afraid this tear of this pillar is very similar to what we have going on in our town. Some sort of rift in the sky.
That is upsetting. I'm afraid that if this one has it, what's stopping the rest of them from following? As you're sitting there, just starting the conversation, you see like 6 monks running your way. All with the, looks like they're ready for travel. Looks like the party has arrived.
Very well. If you could take the path to the town, you'll meet with the orphans and a few of our companions. Just ensure their safe travel here. If Drawl has found himself too exhausted, you can leave him here. I'm sure he'll be safe.
Yes. Feel free to stay here. Please, investigate this as much as you need to. Rest. If you traveled from last night, you're surely tired.
Yes, you and I've also brought a few old books that perhaps you could shed some light on. It's very few things I have that even mention magic, but you are quite old, and maybe this would be more to you than I. And I'll kind of give over some of those books you were talking about, but not the one that I kind of taken an affinity to, I guess.
You hand over all of them. You actually notice one of them has a slight, almost aura to it that you noticed changed from last time.
That was the one I was kind of thinking, like, I'll check that one out.
Yeah. He takes a few of the others, like, scrolls through a few of them real quick in front of you, and says, I'll be in my quarters. Feel free to come in if you need to, but they're going to go head down.
Yes, I would like some rest as well, if that's okay. Do you have your guest chambers?
Of course. The guest house is always available to everyone.
Very well, thank you. I'll get Rawl and try to get him some rest as well.
Very well.
I'll go find Rawl and lead him to the guest
I
chambers
assume he's
as
snoring on the ground.
I
as well.
am definitely snoring.
Okay.
well. I'll
Kind of muttering in my sleep a little.
Rawl, they have quarters for us. We can rest now. Somewhere a bit more comfortable than the ground.
Oh, did they find some people to go back?
Yes, 6 or so monks are going to get the rest of them. Should be
Did
plenty.
they need direction or anything?
They've been to the town before. At least one of the young ones I saw leaving.
Alright, just hold 1 second. I'm gonna kind of walk down to the edge of the woods and kind of find like some sort of critter or bug or something. Just be like, make sure they find our family and friends.
This little chipmunk kind of comes forward to the edge and just kind of props on a low branch, and he just does like, and just immediately goes to the ground and runs that way.
I'm gonna stand up and just walk like right past Edmund to the guest chambers, like still like half asleep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll kind of take notice, but at the same time, whatever, he's gone through a lot, we all have, he's tired. I'll just mental note, but not say anything.
Sometimes a man just needs to talk to Chip.
Sometimes.
Well, I assume I didn't hear what he said, I just saw him walk to the edge.
You just saw him walk to the edge, and you saw
back.
just happened to be from your distance some kind of rodent on a branch. All right, you four, as you start to walk up down the path. Is there anything you talk about?
What's there to say?
Yeah, mainly just like looking back. Like every now and then I'll look back,
Make
kind of
sure.
head count the kids, but I mean I don't really know much. So
All right.
I will say to these guys at some point in the journey, I know that we only met yesterday, and I can barely remember your names, as I'm sure that you can barely remember mine, but I would like to extend my gratitude to each of you for sticking around and helping with the children last night, and that I would also like to say that I will do what I can to protect you for that kindness.
a little intense. I'm gonna kind of like just like nod and kind of like look back at these guys like you got a little real there for a second.
I'm already looking at them for how they're reacting to this.
Okay.
It's kind of...
I appreciate it greatly, we do, and we'll obviously repay the same. When you guys took us in, and even though it's led to this, we'll do what we can.
I'm not a brave man, but it takes a monster to abandon children. Anyone would have done the same, but I do appreciate the thought, if nothing else.
All right.
Well, just another day.
So you guys start heading up the path. About 2 hours through, a extremely large tree looks like it broke over and is blocking a good bit of the path. The woods next to it seem to be extremely thick. There's a lot of underbrush. It looks like it'd be trouble getting over or around.
Of course. Because why would this be easy?
I'm gonna yell to the back of the road, hey big guy, you wanna get this out of here? Like knowing he most likely cannot do this.
I just look at you like...
There's quite a bit of sarcasm.
Yeah, this tree's trunk itself would probably be about 5 to 6 men wide.
Light work. He's got it.
How tall is it?
The entire tree's this is most of the top of the tree, so all the leaves and branches are kind of all over the place as well. You could probably climb through it,
Yeah.
but it's going to take some really shifting through and some really.
I mean, if we could just carve a path through all the greenery, just
Do any of you have a knife or a sword or?
I have a stick. I have a walking
Don't
stick.
even have a stick.
I have a dagger.
Okay.
I think if we just cut a few branches here and there, maybe throw a blanket over.
Yeah, that's
we
what I
could-
was saying.
I mean, Tibble's got a few blankets. I got a blanket. We could, I think, make a way.
I'll try and see if I can, or if we can pull some branches apart and make a little path through the.
Certainly won't be comfortable climbing over, but you gotta get through it some way.
So, who's doing what here? I'm assuming you two are taking
Probably breaking and cutting
Okay.
as I go. If I see something enough to cut with my dagger, I will.
Okay.
I guess I'll try to.
Won't break as much.
I studied karate, surely, at the monastery because I am a monk, and I'll just try and take some of the thinner ones and take my foot and try and see if I can use my body weight to break through them.
Okay. As you start to break limbs, you're popping limbs off like no one's business. You're just this is extremely easy. What is going on? You're just these thick branches. You're just popping off easily, and it's just you're not even kicking. You're just kind of moving, and it's just snapping. And you're just watching this. You're about to start carving.
Immediately gonna try to mimic everything she just did.
And all of a sudden, after about 2 minutes of doing this, he follows up behind you. He grabs one, and immediately it just breaks off in his hand.
Have you always been that strong?
I'm slightly uncomfortable right now.
So we both just take one step back.
I don't like what's going on. So I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to kind of get the kids ready, get them single file line ready to hop over this thing.
I guess I'm kind of in awe right now of what's going on. I'm going to try and see what's the biggest one I could break.
Okay.
I think it's a competition at this point.
Hard body karate.
So as you start to look at each other and adjust your bodies, you notice your 6-pack has become an 8-pack. You've noticed your arms have probably got about 3 inches on them at this point. You are now taking the branch, going to a branch, breaking it, looking at the other one as he's going to the next branch and just breaking a bigger one. And at this point, you don't even know if you're clearing a path or just breaking branches. After a little bit, you've got a clear top of this tree where you can climb over, but at least some kids can climb over at this point.
Very cool. All right, let's go back and get some of the kids and get him over.
As you turn around, they're all just staring.
I'm not gonna lie, that was impressive. Both of you.
All right, I'll say, come on, hop up. We gotta keep moving.
They start hopping up and climbing over.
And I'll just help them.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like we'll boost people.
You all do.
As you go to walk by, I'll probably give you a little nudge.
As he nudges you, you almost you lift the ground,
No,
and
not like this.
you don't even know that you crossed the tree. You're already on the other side.
This is how I die.
We've seen him fight, and this is a whole nother
Another
level.
Yes.
I'm slightly scared for my life because I've talked a lot of smack up to this point, knowing that he could probably hurt me, but he couldn't rip me limb from limb. I'm second guessing that statement. He could probably rip me limb from
You've
limb.
now seen him rip limbs.
Yes.
You were already pretty
We were already kind of scared of him. Now I'm extremely terrified.
yeah.
All right.
I'm giving these two a wide berth.
For probably the first time this campaign, I think me and you are on the same same page.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Let's let these two go.
Yeah.
So as
They
all of
got
you
this.
get over this hump and start traveling again, a few hours from that point, you see a group of monks just running down the path towards you. Almost full sprint, but they look like they haven't huffed or puffed a bit. They're just stamina built like crazy.
Do I recognize them?
Oh yeah, they're all very familiar. Every one of them. Looks like they're all trainees, well into their years.
Okay, I'll just say, whoa.
They all stop and say, "We heard you need help."
Yes, if you could help us escort the children up to the
Yes, of
monastery.
course. No problems on the way?
There is a fallen tree, but we made a path through the branches.
Very
Might
well.
be something you want to look into in the future.
Of course. They all start taking bags that you're holding.
Nope. Not giving up my bag.
Okay. They take whatever bags the kids have. They're pretty much loading. They're being your mule at this point.
I'll introduce them to Helena and Tybalt.
Okay.
I'll just be like, you know Edmund, gone. This is his wife and his son.
They all make small introductions and just start pushing on.
Okay, cool.
All right. All right. You guys, at the monastery, you're being escorted. Your little bedroll, really on the ground. I'm assuming going right to sleep.
Yeah, for sure.
Edmund,
I was
Are you
still
doing anything
half asleep,
specific?
even
I'm
being
scanning.
awake.
I'm scanning that book as well, and I assume he gave me a little bit of that tea, which just got some ginseng in it or something, whatever.
yeah, it's giving you a little. You're a
pep.
little sprier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start looking at it, and it's giving you like. You're reading through it, and you're just like, this was never here before. Like this was almost a blank book, and you're seeing a list of a few incantations that were not there.
Okay.
And it looks to be almost floating off the page. Like, it doesn't look like it's in any ink that you've ever seen before.
but I can decipher it. Like I
Oh,
can
yes.
read it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can definitely read it.
Does it look like it's uncommon, or?
It's no language you've ever seen before.
Okay.
But
Right.
somehow you can decipher it.
Can I read it? Like, can I say it out loud? You said incantation. If I get that vibe, can I incant?
Yeah, you can try reading one of them.
I do the
I'll
can't.
just read one.
All right, you read one. Which one do you read?
Page 3.
All right. What is on page 3 of your spell list?
Uh-oh.
Creator destroy water.
Okay. You all of a sudden have just a puddle in front of you.
I stand up. Oh.
He's old. He's old. It happens.
I'll flip a couple pages. Maybe I'll go back to the first. I'll try to do the first page,
Okay.
which is chromatic orb.
Okay. All of a sudden, you do it, and all of a sudden you feel your hand get warm, and you push out, and it just creates this large orb of what kind of energy?
Let's go. Since I don't know what I'm doing, fire, I guess.
Okay. Fire. All of a sudden, you see a large, like, whirling ball of fire with other energies mixed in, and you just blow it out, and you just see the wall in front of you just have this orb hit it of fire and just explode, and you see this hole appear in the wall, and it's just burning, and you just see the wall just start to catch.
So like, I'll be like, what the F? You know? Oh dear. I'll look at my hands and maybe I'm a bit more tired than I thought.
All of a sudden, you see
flip some more.
the door open like extremely quick and like a large bang, and you see one of the monks just go in, and it's like, "Are you okay, sir? What happened?"
I'm like looking at my hands and I gesture to the wall, I guess.
He's like, he immediately goes over there. He takes off his top of his tunic and just starts like smacking the wall, trying to get the fire out.
I guess I'll try to like use the water to put it out that I just created, maybe. Like, I don't
Okay,
even know if I can do that, but
so you're just
I'll
like kind
try.
of like
yeah.
nothing's happening.
Am I magical now?
You just start doing this with your hands, like, sir, grab a bucket or something.
Yeah, I'll help him put it out if it's something that's caught on fire, of course. Or do I kind of get the vibe of what each thing does by reading it, even though I can't?
You know, one of them created a puddle in front of you. You know, one of them created this ball of weird energetic fire.
Okay, so I guess I'll do one that creates an unseen servant, and it'll just do what I want. Like, oh, I don't know, maybe this will help, and I'll just do another incantation, and it'll be like, put out the fire, magic,
Okay. You
And then I guess the unseen servant could probably do that, right?
So you all of a sudden see a bucket floating across the ground in front of you, and just all of a sudden just pour water onto this hole of flaming wall, and it just starts to be put out. The water bucket goes back,
Aha! Yes!
And he comes back a minute later and pumps another bucket on there, and with the bucket of the unseen servant and the other guy smacking his tunic on the wall, it eventually gets out and, "Sir, are you okay?"
I'm not sure yet. But then I'll try to read another incantation.
By the way,
and I'll assume
you heard the fiery explosion, so you're kind of waking up at this point.
All right, I'm gonna not run, but sleepily meander.
You hear him go, "Uh-huh."
All right, that will make me go. I know that expression.
So there's
from
a
Edmund,
there's a
and
hole,
it's good.
There's a hole in the wall in front of him with char marks where flames have been.
and I have a big smile on my face.
I'm gonna walk in and go. Bad dream?
Well, I think that I've finally found something that could help us. It's some sort of magic. I've had in my library the whole time, I assume, but I can read it. I can perform them.
Go on.
And I'll watch this. I'm out of spell slots. And I'll try to read another one. And I'll try to do the fire thing again, and it won't work.
Okay, he immediately does. You hear him say something that you don't understand one bit of, and he puts his hand out, and nothing happens.
Can I see it?
Yes, of course. You try.
You
I'm
look
gonna
at it.
Flip through the pages, and number 3 looks familiar. Or would it? I mean, I have.
You don't even see anything.
I have create or destroy water,
No, you can't understand
Okay.
anything in this book.
but Eamon, this is blank.
No, look.
I mean, the wall isn't blank, but that is.
You look at it, and
I do
instead
have a
of being,
question.
yeah,
Are learning moment? Are cantrips in a wizard's spellbook? Or no?
we'll say,
I think cantrips are known.
yeah, they're probably known.
But I'm saying in this universe.
yeah, we'll say
right?
they are in the
depends.
spellbook though.
Okay. They are for
Yeah.
this universe.
Yep,
Okay.
we'll say they are.
Cool. So I guess I'll flip a couple that these look a bit easier. Maybe I've not quite got the wording down, and I'll go like this and read in some lit orbs. Will start dancing throughout the air.
So
Dancing.
you read the spell. You look in front of you, and then all of a sudden you just see lights floating above you as you look up, and it looks like old cartoon just spinning circles
Just
around
gonna
them.
kind of stare out. Am I still asleep?
And I'll try to control it. Look, Edmund, this book is. I don't know. I can understand it. It's.
You're Edmund. Are you? You need to go back. Have you slept?
You see these orbs just floating around his head. And he did this, and one of the orbs went that way.
You can't just go like this and create fire. I do have produce flame.
So you do that, and all of a sudden, just fire, just like
You can't just go like this and create fire. Creates fire.
you just see a flame just go and just disappear.
Oh, I see. Look, not as strong as mine, of course. It didn't break the wall, but
Wait, not a grasshopper in a tall tree.
So this guy with his tunic in his hand that just was
Am I still asleep?
he's just staring at you now. With his shirt off, tunic in hand, he's just staring at both of you. What is going on?
Maybe you should go.
Would you like a bucket of water by the door? I don't mind bringing that.
No, I'm
But
sure.
perhaps go get Ewan then.
Yeah, good idea.
You look like a younger one. I am still quite tired. I'm not sure if we're hallucinating this together or not, but I wouldn't imagine so.
I mean, I've seen weirder things in the past day.
Very true. Let me try
Edmund,
some.
did you create the shadows?
No, this is the first time I've looked into this book. It has nothing to do with that.
No, I mean oh, is that water on your bed? Or is that something else?
Yes, I created the fire and the water as well. and the lights, and so
I could do that as a kid. I don't think that's magic.
no, I'll like smell check it just to make sure.
You don't smell like that.
Oh, it's water. It's water. Here, let me try something. One of these easier ones, and I'll do prestidigitation and like clean it up.
Okay, so you like start doing this, and all of a sudden it looks like you're wiping a sponge on the ground, but you're not doing anything. It's just the water slowly going away.
This could come in use here.
I don't think we're dreaming.
I don't believe so either. Ewan is the only person who's even seen the minor things. I mean, I'm not lighting a candle. You know.
I don't really know where to go from here, to be honest.
All of a sudden you hear a knock on the door. Edmund?
Come in.
The young monk told me he was a little worried about you two.
Tell me, Ewan, can you read this?
Read what?
I'll flip the pages.
Are you okay? Do you need to go to bed? It is kind of late.
Hold on. And I'll read Dancing Lights again. I'll do it. Oh, there are incantations in this book that I can read.
Edmund?
I don't
Maybe
think
there was
I
something
read
in this
anything.
tea. Oh,
No, look. Hold on.
you sit there for a second. Do you have a spell slot for it?
That's a cantrip.
Okay. So as you do that, nothing happens. You do second hand, and all of a sudden a big burst of fire comes up and then it disappears.
See?
Yes. Did you have any of that tea?
I just woke up.
I believe this may be related to the pillars.
I am afraid. I don't know what's going on.
If magic is re-entering this world, perhaps this book was magical all along.
There is nothing in that book.
Yes, but no, I'm clearly reading the book and it's magic.
Oh, maybe you can, but
Just gonna sort of take a seat. And
I can't see anything on that page.
Well, how about you try? Do something. Think of the... What do you do to produce your flame? You can't read the book.
I was trying to create fire like you.
Well,
It
how
didn't
about
quite
you
look
try?
the same, but
If magic is being released on the world, maybe this is the epicenter. Maybe people closest to the pillars can feel it.
He like puts a finger like out the door, and he's like, nothing's
I'm
happening.
gonna go up behind him almost like a golf pro.
Okay.
Like this. And like grab his wrist like from behind him.
He's just doing this. Like, could you stop?
Oh, not like that. Like really like it's in the hips.
Well, maybe it's not fire for you, but have you felt anything strange?
You saw.
Has anything happened? In a monastery?
I feel
or-
slightly molested now, but
Well, besides that.
I'm sorry about that. We're gonna sit and go a little deeper.
I don't think it works on me. I'm sorry.
Well, perhaps... I
What's
think you
happening?
should gather the monastery. Something's happening. It can't just be the two of us.
I think maybe you two should go to sleep for a while. Maybe when you're rested, try seeing if you can. I don't know. Something's off with you two right now.
Maybe you're right. We'll see. We should rest some. We have been up for quite
Yes,
a while.
maybe wake up at dinner.
I don't think I could sleep anymore. I barely got to sleep the first time. It was more of a collapse.
If you would like something for sleep, I've got something I can give you.
We do need to rest. If you have any sort of tea or potion that would help us.
I've got an old remedy my old master taught me.
I'm afraid I might need it as well. I am a bit excited about all this.
Yes,
Though cautious.
I'll go brew up a batch.
It's called NyQuil.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yes, try not to burn the place down. We have to fix that.
Well, stars watch over you and us.
Alright, he leaves for a minute. About 20 minutes later, he comes back and gives y'all each a bowl of this steaming honey-infused liquid.
Alright, I'm gonna
Take it.
drink it and lay down and try to close my eyes.
Yeah. About 5 minutes later, both of y'all get knocked out.
Yep.
All right. You guys get to the front of this monastery. You, it's normal. You three, it's very simple, but very beautiful as well. There's gardens all around. Very simple. The very front, you see on both left and right, there's like a small vineyard. It seems to be of different small berries and fruits. There's a group of about 12 children, all in a very similar uniform, kind of a one-armed robe. Just all seem to be standing there in a uniform position, and every once in a while you'll see them do a punch or a kick, as one monk seems to be walking back and forth, talking to them. You see everyone seems to be walking with a purpose and a very stern but graceful walk to them. Kind of similar to how she's been walking, but she's got a little bit more pep in her step ever since she tore down a tree. The 6 monks up front, one of them specifically says, "There's a guest house over there if you would like to rest. There's some bedrolls in the corner you're welcome to use. Dinner should be served in an hour or two, maybe."
You should all go rest. You will be safe here.
Thank you.
I assume your friends are there as well, Edmund and his friend.
I'm gonna head to the guest house that he's gestured to.
Yes.
Or sort of.
Make sure all
Yeah.
the kids get.
Yeah, I assume you'll take. Are we taking the kids with us, or?
No, we'll all go.
Okay. So yeah, head to the.
Final roll call. No kid got left behind. Everyone's still there.
I'm not
Everyone that was there is still
tired. I just want to sit down. Because we did sleep through the night.
This is a
Well, y'all slept through the night, but y'all traveled the 8 hours we traveled last night, so
Yeah.
it's almost dinner time now at this point.
I do want to sit down at least, get off my feet.
Okay. You all get to the guest house. You see those two still sleeping in their bedrolls. You also see a burned hole in the wall of this guest house.
Unconcerned, but also not. Weirder things have happened in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in this monastery.
You notice there's a burned hole that wasn't there the
Yeah.
2 days prior.
I'll be back. I'm gonna go talk to some people. So I'll go find someone.
Okay.
Just turn those around.
Anything y'all do specifically? The kids are starting to settle down. They start to get bedrolls out. They look tired. You know they slow down a little bit.
Find a lounger. Little lounge. What do they call those things?
Okay.
A Shea lounge.
You don't see
What do you
any
call it?
furniture besides like a
What?
bookshelf or a small table.
What?
There's
Monks.
bedrolls. It's very, very simple.
Monks.
You monks in your Spartan conditions. I'll find somewhere that I can get comfortable, and I'll take out my book, and I'd like to through it.
You flip through it, and immediately every word pops out like it was your second language.
That's new. So I'm gonna kind of slam the book shut. That's
Oh,
weird. Yeah. And then I'm gonna page 1 and just start reading. Like I am now engrossed in this book.
Okay. You start reading. What about the rest of you?
That's annoying because now I feel like I'm crappy. But yeah, I think Dominic's still just thinking about the voice in his head. Just kind of tries to find another corner that's no one's in, and just kind of goes and does his morning prayers that he never got a chance to do today because it was, we're still traveling. And he also just takes out his. You gave me the. Did you give me the other Bible that was in a different language?
yeah.
Do you remember what language that was in?
One was up and one was common.
Yeah, I gave you the Elvish one.
Elvish, yeah. And I know Elvish, I believe. I do know Elven, but I've never read this interpretation of it, so I'll just go like, well, I wonder.
I said right. That's why you were interested in it. You were like, oh, some of the phrasing is different.
Yeah, and I assumed it was like hand copied. So I'm like, well, maybe something is in this one that was like translated differently in the common one. So more just to calm my mind, I'll just go in a corner and just start flipping through the Elven version of the same Bible that I've had this entire time.
Okay. Did you pray out loud? Like, did you do your prayer in a visible way?
It's yeah. Like I mumble a little bit to myself.
I'm gonna mimic him.
Okay.
But like with my book, I'm reading like tables of contents, but I'm just like reading it out loud, but like doing the mimicking of like what his movements are.
Like noticeably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm noticeably not mocking.
Yeah.
Or, like trying to do it, but obviously he's reading a Bible and I'm reading my table of contents.
Okay.
So
I'm
very different scenarios.
So I feel like I was just.
But I am speaking in fluent Infernal at this point.
Are you speaking?
Yes. The prayer out loud.
Okay. Y'all hear some extremely disturbing sounds coming out of his mouth.
It's very phlegmy.
Like I'm just trying to read it and it's coming to me naturally without me like trying.
Yeah. So it's so disturbing that you
It's
two
like
kind of hear it
whispering?
in your sleep and start to wake up.
Yeah. Like kind of how he's like mumbled his prayer. I'm also doing that, but my prayer doesn't sound the same.
So is this like the black speech of Mordor? Is that what everyone's imagining?
To an extent.
You were in Fellowship when Gandalf speaks it, and Elrond and the rest of those are like, holy shit.
To an extent. It's
You
that
really
disturbing,
talk
yeah.
Like that, yeah.
yeah.
And y'all hear it in your sleep to the extent that you wake up.
To me, it just sounds normal.
But you get your long rest, though.
I'm pretty heavily sleeping. I feel like it starts to give me nightmares as I start to dig my hands into my bedroll.
I mean, this voice gives you like a 5-minute nightmare, so much that it wakes you up and you're sweating.
Okay.
I'll go to wipe my face and then unknowingly now use prestidigitation on myself.
Yeah, you immediately are
as I'm
sparkly
wiping off
clean.
my face
It's like you took a fresh rag to your face.
right. Interesting. And I'll think to myself that was without the book. And I'll take notice outside and walk out.
Okay. Do you walk out even though you hear him whispering in this extremely excruciating language?
Is he in the same room as us?
Yes, y'all, it's one. It's like a studio.
He's like,
Oh, I
It's
didn't realize
one large room.
I didn't realize it was that
Yeah.
big. Okay.
There's no walls inside any of these
Jethro,
houses.
In common, yes.
I believe you're doing something quite strange, which we aren't short of here.
Reading the book, as we discussed. Are you finally ready for that translation?
If that is what you were just speaking, I'm afraid I can't understand you.
And I kind of get a little puzzled because I don't realize that I was reading Infernal at first.
Okay.
So I'm sort of puzzled, but then I just kind of look at him like, you're lost.
I'll say,
And then
speak one word of that book to me.
I'll just, the first word, which is probably like the or something. And just,
The first word you speak, it comes out in almost 2 different voices, and it's nothing you can understand.
Right.
And it just sounds like a curse.
I'll say, okay, close the book.
closing the book.
All right, say that one more time now, without reading it.
And then the word, whatever it was, will just come out all grindy and metallic.
The one word,
Will he say it in Abyssal still, or in Infernal still? That's what I was going to say.
the one word that comes out, Avaricia.
What language would that be?
That is common.
Common.
Okay. Sorry.
So yeah, now you did not say the same thing both times.
It sounded the same to me.
I have been finding a book that I have as well, giving me strange abilities as well. Here, let me show you. I'll open up my book and I say, do you see anything?
Blank as can be.
Do you see anything?
You see the scribble
Yeah,
and
you see-
a language you don't understand.
Right. I say, watch this.
I think I stopped what I was doing. Pay attention to this.
See if you can translate this. It sounds normal to me, just as that sounds normal to you. and I'll read one of my incantations, and I'll do, I guess, one I haven't done before, which will be Mage Armor. I don't know what it looks like. But...
Okay. As he says it, you see almost a aura appear around his skin and around his entire body, just slightly away from his skin. It's just like stuck, kind of like a floating aura above him.
So seeing that all he did was read from his book, and that happened, I'm going to...
I say, did you understand anything I said?
What is it? Did he read it? You're reading it like that weird...
Yeah, none of you understand what he's just said.
Okay. So I'm going to bust out my book, seeing that all he did was read, and things happened.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to read.
Well, look for some sort of incantation. That's what these are. It's not simply just reading. It's...
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure.
Are you looking through your book?
I mean...
If you're just reading through your book, you just read that language.
As I'm reading, I'm going to focus into doing something.
Yeah, you're just reading and focusing.
Yeah, I'm just... As I read my Infernal.
Okay. You keep reading and you're just kind of focusing and reading all at the same time. You hear all this go through and for 5 minutes and nothing happens.
Are you channeling enough to do something, or?
I'm more focused on letting the book do something, so nothing's gonna happen.
No, nothing happens. He just reads in this dual-toned voice this whole time.
Yeah, I'll say,
Over the book.
Droll did it without a book.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this was from an incantation, and I kind of looked down at my bedroll. My nightmares, I was like primal savagery on my bedroll, tore it into strips.
Okay. So,
Dear goddess, what is going on?
Here, try to, what did you do? Produce some flame or something. Just think of the energy. How do you do it?
Turn around.
I'm gonna
kind of reach
gesture
out
you
my
away.
hand and a little more calmly just kind of make a fire appear and try to control it.
So I give my stretch, and then I sort of just warm up, and then I just put all the force I have into this. And I'm aiming at the burnt spot on the wall.
okay. As you
Since that's where
aim
it
to this
seems to
burnt
be.
spot in the wall, nothing happens at first.
All right. It's a bust.
You, on the other hand, you just cast Friends.
I'll take it.
All right, so I think he has to roll something, right?
Yeah, that's good.
I think you have to roll a charisma save, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So we have full mods now, right?
No, wait, no save. He just, for the duration, I have advantage on all charisma checks directed at the creature.
Yep, you just...
Well, that was pretty good. I like that.
I didn't see
The
anything.
flare. Well, come on, look at him.
Gonna look at you just
Him?
He's doing his best. He's doing great.
slightly concerned.
Is no one else concerned that everyone is making sparks and fire and I just poke your mage armor, whatever?
I start pushing the bedroll behind me.
How is no one else concerned by this?
I go, try this, and I'll aim at the spot on the wall and do firebolt, I guess.
You do that, and immediately a bolt of fire just goes, almost like an arrow, straight at the hole, and just hits a small spot next to it and just catches fire again.
Yeah, man, that was better than I could do.
I'm sorry?
I've read a lot about
Like
this.
a little tiny little flame.
Yep.
If you folks could do that the whole
I'm
time.
gonna try to mimic that and just kind of. I'm thinking fire burning, dark, and then.
So as he does that, this dark black mass of flaming energy just shoots out and just creates this immediately spot on the wall and just burst into a almost dark flame that is nothing you have ever seen before.
Dang, it would
Can we
not
please
like
stop
that.
That's
Infernos.
new. Okay.
So- I had left.
Y'all need
Am I
to
still
stop.
under, am I still under your
Y'all need to
influence?
stop reading from these
I'll be
books.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not reading
When
from
I
anything.
hear
good.
any destruction going on,
By the way,
You're coming back at this point, and you just see flames of multiple colors coming out, and you see him exit the door, just open the door, and you just see him come straight out, just kind of worried.
okay, I'm gonna run in. I'm gonna look at you guys.
I look.
yes.
What do you think you're doing
This wall is almost on fire.
in this temple?
I'll say, look over here. He's been doing so.
What do you...
And I'll come to, because after a minute,
Been about a
Friends
minute,
goes
yeah.
down, and I'll go, you've There was some sort of influence he put over me. I could not help but love him. It was great.
That influence or not, you are more than old enough and familiar enough with the monastery traditions to know better than to destroy that wall.
I was under the influence of magic, Irene.
I stand closer to her.
Things that are happening.
I shift closer to her.
You are far too old to be making excuses for yourself, Edmund.
And you are far too young to assume you know the understandings of things of someone of my age.
So you'll all hear commotion, and all of a sudden you just see water being splashed on this wall from outside.
Mommy and Daddy.
I'll help, and I'll look in the book and do the unseen servant thing again, and have buckets going.
Okay, you don't see anything for a few seconds, and all of a sudden you see a bucket float in from outside and just kind of splash water on the wall, and it happens every once in a while.
Are you saying this? Because everyone else is acting like this is normal.
No,
And at least where I'd come from, this is not normal.
It's not normal.
Listen,
This
I don't think
it's
this
magic.
is normal. And then I like look at my claws and like retract them.
I think just a sense of like righteous, like not quite fury, but just like indignation that no one is acknowledging what's going on. It's like you people are just throwing fire around everywhere.
Dominic, read your book.
Yes.
I know what my
sure
book
you-
is.
I read my book. He read
every
his
day.
book.
There's no.
Read your book.
You left,
Dominic,
right?
I believe you were the first of all of us, thinking back.
For
When we left to go to the monastery, did you not feel more energy pulsing through you after talking to Dominic?
Yeah, now that you mention it, I did.
called adrenaline. I know what I believe in.
I felt
Try
comfort.
again. Try again. Bless us the same way you did before. Or them. Oride. You have to experience this.
Okay, I will listen if we can at least agree to stop throwing flames everywhere.
Yes,
That
of course.
that won't lead us anywhere.
Yours seem to be the most helpful, honestly.
All right.
I left. You're not touching me.
Yeah, he's already gone.
Say,
Nope.
Irene, please.
What do you? I'll start reading on book and I'm like, it's just the Bible. It's just the tenets.
Do your prayer how you did to us last night before we left.
For me, it was just feel.
All right. Are you willing? Will you let me?
Sure.
I'll just put my hand on her shoulder and I'll just close my eyes, and I'll just think serene thoughts of just protection in general, just how I would like. I see he has like the weird armor around him, and I'm like, I don't know what they're expecting to happen, but he mentioned a blessing or some kind of protection, so I'll just speak to myself. I'll say, I don't know. In my head, not out loud. I'll just say, I don't know if you are who I heard, or what's going on, or what any of these people are truly on about, but everyone's confused, and we could take any assistance you're willing to give.
Immediately, as he's sitting there muttering to himself, you just feel his hand get warm on you, and your whole body just feels enlightened. Almost like you feel a little lighter, like something warm has touched your whole body.
And I'll come out and I'll say, I have nothing. I'm just a simple priest, as I have always been.
I think as soon as I feel your hand get warmer, I would probably push you away from me.
Oh,
So,
I
Not
apologize.
if you agreed to it, right?
Not
Well,
hard. I would just
Yeah.
like,
enough.
please get off for a second.
Yeah, no,
Nope.
that's completely fair and reasonable. And I'll just assume, and I was kind of in my head, so maybe,
Does she still feel the kind of...
Oh yeah, it's still there. You still feel a little warm.
Well,
my apologies.
do you not feel better?
I don't know if better is the right word. I feel warm.
What?
Warm is something.
Did you feel warm before?
No.
Well, that could be of use when it's cold, at least.
Sure. I mean,
It's not quite, but it's something.
Well,
It is-
did
it is
anything else?
something.
Did anything else strange happen when you were coming here?
No, well, Remdil isn't here, but I am a relatively strong person before, but on our journey here, there was a tree that had fallen in front of our path, and we decided that we would try to break some of the branches, and I've studied lots of, martial arts here, and I thought that I would try and break some of the branches, but it was easy.
Are there any...
Like, far easier.
Perhaps...
I mean, you guys thought so too. You guys probably thought that I was stronger than I looked, or I don't know how to describe it.
Is there any measurable way to test this? Anything at the monastery that you...
Yeah, we have a dojo.
Is it extremely difficult to lift something here, or...
There are lots of weights and such, and all kinds of training things in the dojo.
Perhaps that's how the magic's enveloping you, then, with strength. We must test this theory, of course. I'll have to write down everything.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone to the dojo. We have to test this.
So
Okay.
as you walk out, I'm probably wandering around like looking for something. Like my whole goal was to find something that they just mentioned, like a dojo, maybe one of the wood dummies that are up that people do
Do we see him?
their martial arts. I'm
he-
kind of wandering, just
He's
Remdil.
probably walking around watching the kids fight a good bit, like keeping an eye on them while looking around for other things.
Remdil, would you like to go to the dojo?
I think it's better than me wandering around here.
Sure.
Yes, everyone must be tested.
Hey, Rene, did you say you did that while on the way here?
Yes.
Now, I had kind of a weird experience on the way here, too. I could have sworn a rabbit smiled at me. I mean, never mind.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, I mean, it whispered at me first. You know what? Let's go to the dojo.
You
Can
must
we
have been really tired.
No.
Well, I had a dream I
Things are
talked to a
happening
chipmunk,
today.
too, but...
Let the man speak.
No, let's go to the dojo.
No. I want to... Tell us about your rabbit friend.
Well, I told you the whole story.
The rabbit smiled at him.
I don't know if the rabbit shot flames or something. That seems to be the theme.
No, there was no flames.
So I guess we get to the dojo.
Travel south, they said. The answers will be there, they said.
I don't want to talk about it anymore, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay.
As you walk your 1 minute to the dojo, you walk in. There's a couple of older monks just kind of like doing basic moves on some dummies, or some of them are like sitting in the corners just kind of meditating.
Who's the who do I know as the head trainer?
There are multiple masters and apprentices at the point.
Okay.
In here right now, there's no one. Just there's the ones that are in the transition phase between apprentice and master.
Okay. Do I know one of their names?
Yep, you know. You actually know Wee. He's over in the corner meditating right now.
We?
Yep, Wee's over there.
We.
Yes, my dear.
Would you take a moment to spar with me?
I think that's a little out of my range anymore, don't you agree? He's older than Edmund, way older than Edmund.
Well, then, would you mind go grabbing one of the masters?
Of course.
Thank you.
Yes, I think Ewan
I'll
was
bow to
available,
him.
actually. he bows very slowly and just walks out. About 5.
Ewan?
Yeah, he's going to grab Ewan.
Oh,
he said.
goodness.
So he grabs Ewan, and Ewan comes in with Wee. He's like, I heard you needed a sparring partner.
I do. Yes, master.
I'll whisper to them and I say, Ewan is the master of this monastery. This should be a good test.
I'm pretty sure it smiled at me.
Remember, Ewan is not the master.
He's
okay,
not.
buddy.
Or is he just the oldest?
No. Wee is one of the oldest. Ewan's just one of the very, very friendly monks here. He's been one
But
of
he
those
knows a lot
helpful
about the pillars.
ones. He knows a good amount about the pillars.
I can make anyone a friend at this point.
He's probably respected more as master than the other dude.
He would be the person y'all go to for help rather than Osas.
A good emissary, basically.
Okay.
So Ewan's like, are you sure you're ready?
I think so.
I hope so.
Okay,
Been a
so
while.
I'll bow to him.
He bows back. He says, well, first punch is for you.
Okay, so I will probably try and... Yep, I'm probably going to try and sweep his legs.
All right, roll an attack roll.
I level 1.
Oh, shoot, that was a really bad roll.
Yeah,
Very
it's
bad.
the worst roll.
No.
Really?
All right, so you see her extremely, without a blink, you almost miss what she does as she goes to the ground, and immediately you lose traction of your feet. You go so quick and just kind of spin out and just have to like kind of pop yourself back up. It's like, oh, sorry.
I'll just say,
And he's like,
Sorry,
what
very sorry.
What was that?
I don't know. I lost my footing. Let's try again. Now the first hit is yours.
Okay, one more time. He bows again.
Okay. Sorry.
He immediately tries to punch you. Does a 9 hit?
No.
Okay. He misses you and just arm right past. Tries again. For a 8. Misses again. He's like, and you're good.
So when he tries to put his arm past, can I grab it and try and flip him?
Yeah, roll an athletics check.
Okay. Also not very good. A 12?
Okay. You grab his arm and immediately you grab him with enough leverage to flip him easily. He loses his leverage and immediately you see him get smacked on the ground on his back. And he's like, oh, you see him lose his breath. It's like, oh, hang on, sorry.
I'll help him up.
What was that?
What you taught me?
Yeah, with about 20 times more force.
I'm sorry. I was not trying to hurt you.
Oh, I'm not disappointed, but I'm more startled.
Should we get a younger? No offense, but
I don't think anyone. I would not show this to Osas, to be honest. I think he might just keep it between us.
I think you need more of a sparring partner like myself.
I was just about to
That's
volunteer
what
you,
I
my
was
man.
thinking too.
Yes.
would you mind
This is something
supervising?
I'd like to
Yes,
see.
yes.
Perhaps someone more sizable, yes.
So here in the dojo, we bow to each other before we begin sparring.
It's like a curtsy.
Dog swimming.
I'm gonna
So-
take a few steps back from this.
Several steps back.
I will get ready and I'll
Good
say,
luck, friend.
the first move is yours.
Oh no.
I kind of look around.
Is he allowed to use? Oh, okay. Yes, I was just making sure you weren't pulling out a weapon.
No, they're going.
It's just hands here.
No weapons other than staffs in the dojo.
I like to think these are my weapons. You know,
Swing a punch. Roll an attack roll.
Oh god. I'm gonna get hit.
14.
No.
All right, he goes to punch, and it.
Are we using level 1 stats for everything
Yeah.
now?
You're all level 1. You go to punch, and you almost see it in slow motion as his arm goes by. You just kind of move your head out of the way.
I'm gonna try and grab it and flip him.
Roll an athletics check,
Does it?
and roll athletics if you want to try and like grab it, or acrobatics to dodge.
9. Not good.
8.
Which one?
Athletics, I was gonna go, like, stop the grab. but-
Okay. So, or yeah, you grab his arm, but he holds his arm stiff.
Okay, can I...
That's your action.
Right.
Okay.
I have bonus action.
Okay. What's your bonus action?
Well, I guess if... So thinking, like, martial artsy, so if that didn't work flipping him, then I could try and turn his own strength against him. If he, like, pulled away, I could try and push him and...
Not as a bonus action.
Okay, then... I'm not sure.
You just do an offhand attack.
Yeah, just try and...
You have to take the attack action to do an arm strike, I think.
Yeah.
To grapple wouldn't count.
No, not for this. You can. At this point,
I think it's bonus action on our strike.
You can do a bonus action offhand, but it won't get any modifier.
Yeah.
to it.
Oh,
You can
that's
do
fine.
your normal. Yeah.
I'll just do normal. So I'll try and
Monk gets off.
So if I tried to grab your arm and you pulled it back, I could go for like a gut punch really quick. with
Okay,
my
go for it.
offhand.
Little jab.
I think it.
Little jab.
Breaks your hand.
Probably.
11.
Yes.
So you actually like hit him, but you just kind of like muscle up, and it doesn't
Take it.
make much of a feel.
I think my jaw drops.
Go for it.
That this is even still a contest.
I'm coming right back with
Another punch?
another swing.
All right,
punch.
go for it.
Another sledgehammer. Of
This
an
really
arm.
isn't. 16.
No.
So you go for another swing, and you just like,
18.
yeah,
I'm very fast.
she just like dodges out this one again.
Get hit though.
And then I will try and sweep his legs at that point.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Yep,
Yeah. It's gonna be a
it hits.
a 14
14.
plus 7. Plus 7.
Roll your damage.
Trust me.
Same AC.
I think it's just. So 8.
Okay. You hit him for 8 damage. You go to sweep, and surprisingly, it doesn't like sweep out his legs. You just kind of hit him really hard in the calf, and it looks like he gives out almost completely, but he doesn't go down.
And then I will use my bonus action to do an offhand unarmed strike. To
Okay.
try and maybe push him the rest of the way down.
Okay, roll an attack.
Get him.
Oh no, very not good.
Y'all think
10.
maybe we should stop this?
No, we should.
Oh wait, no,
No.
it's not modifier, so
Just go look
No,
on the
you
floor.
can-
plus proficiency.
Yes.
Okay, then it's 7.
Yeah, I'm just
7
worried
hit.
he's gonna
You got it.
land
Punch.
the blow.
And he just takes it again.
I've already pulled out my healers. Get ready because this is getting intense. All right, let's go.
I mean, this is only like 20, 30 seconds through right
Yeah,
now.
I think 4 seconds into it, I'm like, well,
All right.
get this
So
ready.
You're good.
I guess
Get the
since these,
bandages.
I'm with you.
these right hooks aren't working, I'm just gonna come from the other side with,
Okay.
with the left. 22 on that one.
Yay, you hit me.
Okay. What's your strength modifier?
4.
Okay. Beats you for 5 damage.
Okay.
And it just kind of clocks you on the side of the face, and it's just like, oh.
I'll shake that one off.
What's your health?
9. So I'll shake that
Mr.
one off.
Kill you with 2.
All right, that's enough. That's enough.
About time someone
Just
stopped
getting
that.
fun.
Yeah.
So you
No, that's-
you see a big
I'll just-
welt on her face starting to show up, and you see you've got your whole leg looks like this massive bruise showed up on
Yeah,
your leg, and
during my return bow, I'll kind of falter a little bit, but I'll return it better this time.
Yeah, my eye is I'm like,
Renee, let me take a look at that.
sure.
I'm gonna kind of try to help it in some way.
I have some herbs that'll help with the pain.
All right, you probably know better than I do.
okay. So you just rub some cream on and everything.
Yeah.
Use
And
your healers get the
yeah. It's stops pain, that's all it does.
Yeah.
I got nothing for hit points. Well, at least I don't know that I do.
yep.
So,
So there's some random ointment cream on your face that just kind of sticks there.
Yeah, this is really nice. Thank you.
it's very tingly.
Perhaps
Rub
there's
some on your
better
leg as
ways
well.
to test our strength than against each other as well.
I don't know about you, but I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Watching you get hit reminded me of
Still able
yesterday.
to walk and everything, I assume.
Oh, this guy? Oh yeah, he's good.
You guys think maybe we should stop the excitement for a second and kind of think about what we do next?
I very much think we should figure out what we're actually throwing around before we.
Well, if you need to, you can use my chambers to talk.
I mean,
I
I don't
think
know that we
a more
have
private
much sort of
place.
direction yet.
I think more private place to discuss what's happening to you all.
You and I think you should join us as well.
That is fine. Just
Whoever would know most about the pillars as well should join us.
I think I'd be the only one. I'd like to join in on this, if you don't mind.
Very well.
So he walks you over, opens his door. It's very simple. He's literally got a bedroll and maybe a cabinet. That's about it.
Well,
I'm sorry I don't have anywhere extra. I can take out a few blankets for you to sit on if you would like. He immediately starts going out and pulling out blankets.
I think we'll be fine. I think we should just maybe talk.
What are the precautions or the instructions given by the ancestors of what to do when the pillars break?
They were not supposed to break.
What pillars?
The spires up front.
Oh. Yeah, they didn't look quite right.
No, lately they've started to deteriorate. Something that I did not expect.
What does that mean?
I do not know.
I'm not sure if you all remember, but I read a quick letter in the library earlier. I'll pass it around now, just as a refresher.
I remember, but
But essentially, these pillars seem to have been holding back magic from our world.
Yes, if just to refresh, I'm assuming since this is happening to you, this is going to be a little more. These pillars, from what rumors have spread, a few centuries ago, our ancestors gave their life and became these pillars as a way to seal away what was supposed to be dark magic. But unfortunately, and I guess fortunately as well, quelled magic altogether. It kind of gave peace to a war that would not stop.
what we just dealt with felt like dark magic. It was darkness and it was certainly not natural, so there's that.
Well, perhaps, according to the letter, perhaps one of the next steps is to go check on one of the other 12 locations.
That could be something, but it's at least a few weeks away for the next location. It's out in the desert, northwest of here.
Well, we seem to be more capable than we were before.
Could we leave the children and Edmund's family?
Of course,
here with you
yes,
for-
they can. We can definitely spare the guest house.
I don't know that there's much form back in Osirun.
Yes, maybe we will. What exactly happened?
I would tell the story, but it's not very much to tell that would inform you. A dark shadow passed over, enveloped some of the townspeople,
I'm gonna walk out.
and took some people close to us as well. Essentially, what I would like for you to look out for is anyone exhibiting similar characteristics that we are. Some sort of increase in strength or speed or magic or something, and only dispatch them to Asirun if they have some magical capability to defend themselves, or keep them here to defend the children. I fear that shadow may spread.
Yes, I hope it does not. Maybe we should send a small dispatchment of some of the more skilled monks to just check out what's happened.
I know I'm not from here. Sorry to be a pessimist, but throwing balls of fire or whatever it is you did, that thing was as big as a house. It comes back. I guess I just don't understand what we're trying to accomplish by going back there.
I suggest solely for the fact of finding survivors. And apparently during the day, the shadow was weakened, at least somewhat.
Understood. If that's the case, then perhaps just the quick and agile monks, and I don't think any form of throwing flames, any confrontation is not going to go well, but your folks seem agile enough to get in and out and see if anyone's still alive.
Yes,
There
I
must,
would.
just
there
my
must be
opinion.
absolutely no visits to the town at night. And if the shadows do come here, your only choice is to run.
Very well. I am at least glad to be prepared. We can set arrangements to make a quick escape if need be.
We could have saved more if we realized that we should have been running earlier. We sat around in the library trying to figure out what was going on.
If the shadows do come,
Just run.
if the master shows any resistance, you have to take charge.
Also, I would recommend testing your monks and see if any of them exhibit anything similar to our friend Arine here.
That shall be done.
The training you put them through may have increased their sensitivity to the pillars.
We shall definitely do that in the coming days. But are you planning to go through the desert to this next fire?
Do we have the
I think
supplies
so.
to make it through
We
the desert?
we can gather supplies here.
Yes, we can.
Plenty.
It's going to take you over a week to get through that desert. It's going to take a lot of the energy that any normal human or elf matter cannot deal with.
Y'all think we should try one of the next cities?
Yes, perhaps maybe the desert isn't the direct move. Is there a safer pillar to get to, or someone with more knowledge of the pillars that we could maybe access?
Unfortunately, I don't know as much since I was not around during that time. Maybe one of the high elves up north. Maybe one of the elders there will know more.
Or even if we could just get to another town that has forces that we can warn. I don't fancy my odds. Our odds.
There was. I do recall on our travels we passed through quite a large city, much larger than us. So they may have more answers. I mean, we know that it's safe there. We can always backtrack.
So I guess the question now is, do we look for allies or do we go directly to try to find a pillar? Seems to be the two options, unless anyone has a better option.
We can all take the night to think on what we want to do
That's true. In no rush.
and talk about it tomorrow.
Maybe we should look for survivors as well. I mean, truly, your whole town couldn't have been killed off.
Perhaps at morning light tomorrow we can look for survivors. That way we use the most daylight we can.
Yes, maybe.
Should we perhaps leave here shortly before daybreak to arrive?
Arrive at daybreak.
Yes.
Us?
If you would like to go as well, I can dispatch the same monks that brought you here.
If the monks could go in there much quicker than at least the combination of us, I know Arine seems to have been trained long enough to sustain any sort of longevity, but I'm still quite old myself. I don't think I would do anything but slow you down.
Very well. We'll send a dispatchment maybe tonight. See what we can gather. And if y'all want to go, feel free. If you want to go to the next town, it's up to y'all.
I feel maybe Tybalt would be able to give us, as the most well-traveled of us all, a good course of action. Maybe he knows someone.
Yes, since he is most traveled, he'll be better to speak with
Well,
than
perhaps
any of
where
us.
he found the book as well. Or did you find the book?
I've had this book a while, but we could
Where did you acquire it? In a big city or?
details. We could discuss it another time. Perhaps we could reflect on some of the actions of today. Go over a few things.
Yes, that's the only other magical item besides the book in my library that we found. So, if I could find out, maybe, do I know if Tybalt brought this book to me?
That one in particular, you know, has been handed down so long.
It's handed down through
Yeah.
the gods. It's not a Tybalt collection.
Correct.
Okay, correct. Well then, I know this book's been in my family for generations, but if you've acquired that one in your lifetime, that's as much of a lead as we have on magic of anything.
We can pour through it. Let's go. Let's me and you have a discussion about that.
Very well.
Okay. When leaves, goes out of the room, and you are left alone at this point.
Well, I believe he said something about supper happening soon. We should all be fed well, for sure, for the energy that we've used today.
One step at a time, one day at a time.
I agree.
Supper?
Supper, yes.
Supper.
Alright.
As we're all walking kind of out of the door, I'll kind of put my hand on Drawl as everybody walks out, and I'll say,
Well, I'm sitting on the other side of the door, kind of back against
"Oh,
the
you're
door.
still out, right?"
I was listening, but I'm like right outside.
Right. So, like, as they walk out, I'll come up to you and I'll say, "I won't pressure you because I know how you are. But if you need me, my boy, just let me know." I'll kind of tap his head a little bit and say, "Come to supper."
And I'll get up and follow him.
As you all go to supper, we will end episode 3 there.